break up a fight.
She washed the knife off.
On the next Cops.
Tonight at 10:30 on Fox 30. From Fox 30, WAWS-TV, Jacksonville's only primetime news. This is Fox 30 First Coast News at 10.
Good evening. Churches in Jacksonville are being warned tonight to watch out for firebombs.
As our Jim Piggott shows us, 3 churches have become the latest targets.
When Myron Taylor looked out his front door, this is what he saw this morning. St. Nicholas Bethel Baptist Church was firebombed. A Molotov cocktail was tossed at the front door and had started a small fire which went out before serious damage occurred.
And this has been a community institution for over 100 years, and it just saddens us that someone would try to destroy it.
No one saw anyone toss the device. They only saw the damage this morning. The church has about 90 members, and the pastor says they've never had any problems before.
It does hurt to think that the dedication that you exhibit in the presence of God and the assembly, that the devil would take time out to try to destroy what God has constructed.
This is the extent of the damage, the burns on the outdoor rug here and the singed door. But had this Molotov cocktail burned much longer, it could have been a big problem. These doors are wood, and already they're singed and blistered. But if it got inside the church, who knows what damage it could have caused to this 115-year-old structure.
But the vandalism didn't stop at this church. Within a mile, sometime yesterday, the same type of fire occurred to the Hunterdale Pentecostal Holiness Church. Fire officials say it caused about $800 damage. Also at the Mayfair Baptist Church, staff members found a Molotov cocktail just outside the church yesterday afternoon.
The mouth of the bottle, the mouth of the Coke bottle was melted, so it had been lit. It just didn't go off.
Police and fire investigators say the 3 cases probably are related. They have no suspects at this time. This morning, police were told during roll call to watch out for these types of fires and to report any suspicious activity. With photographer Charlie Sininger, Jim Piggott, Fox 30 First Coast News.
Police tell us that it is too early to say right now whether these fires can be linked to recent church fires elsewhere.
An 18-year-old St. Johns County woman is dead. Her 19-year-old boyfriend is behind bars. The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office says Brandy Mary Lee Sullivan of Francis Street was found dead this morning by her roommate. Deputies later arrested Jeffrey Lee Usina and charged him with murder. An autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow to determine how Sullivan died. A murder overnight in the Beechwood Apartments parking lot also led to the arrest of a boyfriend today. Police say 30-year-old Hai Van Gan shot and killed a man who was returning videotapes to Gan's girlfriend. Police say he thought the two were involved. Gan is charged with murder. Police say the 38-year-old victim was shot 13 times.
Lawyers in the Grady Carter tobacco trial showed the jury 1950s-era cigarette commercials in court today.
Hey, the last one. You better get another pack.
Okay.
Carter is trying to prove the tobacco company used popular TV stars and other means to encourage smokers to buy an addictive, dangerous product. Carter smoked 44 years. He has lung cancer. He is seeking damages, claiming cigarettes produced by Brown & Williamson Tobacco caused that cancer. The jury includes a smoker and a former smoker, and it should get the case tomorrow afternoon.
Could Jacksonville's Olympic dreams be fulfilled by America's pastime? As our Bill Milnes shows us, Jacksonville is hoping to make amateur baseball the First Coast's first sport.
USA Baseball is the governing body for amateur baseball in the U.S. They manage the teams for the Olympic Games, the Pan Am Games, and the World Championships. And Jacksonville wants to be their new home. That would mean the nation's best young baseball stars would train here for every major national and international baseball event.
We'd like to see the Olympic team come through here and at least play exhibition games. We'd like to see the Junior Olympics possibly be held here in Jacksonville.
USA Baseball officials say they're at least 4 years away from moving their headquarters from Trenton, New Jersey. And if and when they do, they say they want to move to a city where they can open a year-round baseball training complex. And Jacksonville, they say, is exactly the kind of city they're looking for.
How can it not be? You know, it's Florida. Facility-wise, organizationally, it's a community that not only knows baseball but supports it.
They say that support shows in places like Skinner Park, a youth baseball complex with unparalleled facilities. USA Baseball officials say that same kind of commitment will be needed to make the First Coast the country's amateur baseball headquarters.
Obviously, you need good year-round weather. Airport accessibility is a big plus, which of course you have. Administrative facility, offices. Obviously, the playing field, so you're talking about a main stadium and the possibility of practice fields within that same complex, so to speak.
With photographer Will Segee, Bill Milnes, Fox 30, First Coast News.
The Junior USA team is playing in an exhibition tournament at the University of North Florida. The team heads for Cuba for the World Championships later this month.
Duval County's efforts to have its schools declared unitary by the courts will not receive NAACP report. That coming from yesterday's meeting in Washington, D.C., a meeting between school board and NAACP attorneys. But school lawyers call the session positive and useful. The NAACP legal counsel now wants information from the school board on more magnet programs and teacher quality in predominantly black schools. NAACP attorneys also expressed concern about what they called the disproportionate discipline among black students. NAACP national lawyer Dennis Hayes says he, from now on, will be playing a large role in the case in the future.
Time now to check out the Fox First forecast. Here's Jeff.
All right, Tori. Hey, there were some showers and some heavy thunderstorms around the area today. There's the radar right now, and the nasties are all down south of the First Coast and out to the west, and we're looking pretty, except for this little word. Watch out, late-night travelers. We'll look at your forecast in detail in a couple of minutes.
And then a bit later on Fox 30 Sports, a happy-go-lucky Jaguar apparently has his Packer past haunting him a bit. I'll have the story.
And coming up, you don't have to hang around the home or the office to go online.
Nope, more and more, a night out of the town might include surfing the net. This is pretty neat. Imagine going to a restaurant, sit down, right, able to order your dinner, and at the same time, surf the net.
Pretty cool idea. And cyber cafes are the latest trend for computer buffs. As our Russell Motley shows us, they're already making a big splash right here on the First Coast.
For 26-year-old Raul Maisonette, it's the perfect combination. A relaxing drink after work, and with the click of a mouse, unlimited access to the internet.
Well, I think it's another way to socialize. For example, if someone else is interested in it also, you can sit here together. And I think a lot of people go out just for entertainment, and this is a form of entertainment also.
It's a trend the experts say was bound to happen. Here at Legends Restaurant at Regency, computers have become the focal point at the bar. Right from your seat, you can play games against people across the bar, better yet, across the country. There are tons of web pages and chat rooms to explore, and if you're asking why here, many say, why not?
A lot of people think computers are kind of, by nature, they're not a social thing. But here, you can still come to the bar and be around people. Some people sit at home for hours and be on the computer, and it gets a little lonely. So here you have company, and if you want to meet people, it's perfect.
On the south side, at the Surf and Java, you can order cappuccino while you boot up. There are 7 Pentium personal computers here. You pay about $7 an hour, but how was your cup of coffee?
It was good. It was very good. The other day I had French vanilla. I think this was regular. It was wonderful. And the service is great here.
Now, just by typing in the word Cyber Cafe, the number of matches is tremendous. In the last 6 months, some 300 cyber cafes have opened up all over the world.
As the network grows, there will be more and more cyber cafes that are joining it. And the obvious advantage for restaurants is that it brings in customers, it brings in the opportunity and the ability to socialize. That makes people happy, and happy people spend money.
And bartenders are finding out the advice they're giving now is about computers. With photographer Nat Walburn, Russell Motley, Fox 30, First Coast News.
Cyber cafe owners say new technology is on the way, which would allow people from different cyber cafes not only to talk one another via computer, but also to check each other out visually.
Well, the internet is abuzz with political news as Republican presidential nominee Bob Dole edges closer to choosing a running mate. Florida U.S. Senator Connie Mack is reportedly on the short list. Republican sources say the choice may be someone who hasn't figured in public speculation. Mack has had a low profile during the search. Dole is expected to announce his choice Saturday. Georgia voters last night decided who will battle it out for retiree Sam Nunn's U.S. Senate seat. Republican Guy Milner will square off against Democrat Max Cleland. And the Secretary of State race will feature a couple of young faces. 31-year-old GOP candidate David Schaefer will face incumbent Secretary of State, 33-year-old Louis Massey.
In New York, searchers today recovered what they say is the strongest evidence yet that TWA Flight 800 was bombed. Luggage in an area west of the main wreckage site. 230 people were on board the plane when it exploded, then plunged into the Atlantic near Long Island last month. Divers also recovered the cockpit sheared-off windshield, a 75-foot burned wing section, and a piece of fuselage with 9 windows. John Leonard is suing Pepsi over a Harrier jet. He says a Pepsi TV commercial offered a Harrier jet to anyone who accumulated 7 million Pepsi points. It was part of a promotional campaign for the soft drink. Leonard says he has the points, but Pepsi won't come through with the plane. Pepsi says the commercial was merely a joke, and the lawsuit, they say, is frivolous.
Well, if collecting all those Pepsi points sounds improbable, how about living 120 years? Mary Thompson was probably the oldest American. She died yesterday of a heart attack. Social Security officials traced her life back to 1876. Relatives say Mary took care of herself in every way and packed a .22 caliber pistol. Mary said the secret to a long life boils down to minding your own business.
Life on Mars, or do researchers have overactive imagination?
Ahead, NASA talks about those new findings in a Mars meteorite.
Fox 30.
Today, NASA spoke out about a study that unearthed the first serious evidence of life on Mars. Researchers say they found a rock from Mars made of organic compounds left by life forms resembling bacteria. But NASA cautions that the researchers were presenting circumstantial evidence. They want other scientists to either prove or disprove the theory. Project researchers say it isn't ultimate proof of life on Mars.
Has only something to say about the possibility of life early in the planet's history, not really about the existence of life of any sort on the planet today.
Mars exploration resumes with December's scheduled launch of the unmanned Mars Pathfinder. Its job is to collect soil samples and then send data back to Earth.
Our science here on the First Coast is a little less heady. We're talking about showers. No offense, Jeff.
How about it, Jeffrey?
Well, we are getting some showers. We had some heavy showers, as a matter of fact. A viewer from Middleburg called Fox 30 and said, hey, I got over 4 inches of rain this afternoon. So there's some significant stuff out there, and here's the reason for it. We have an area of low pressure spinning around there. You can see the twist in the clouds counterclockwise, and this area of low pressure is drifting slowly southward toward Florida. So I think umbrellas will be standard apparel for a couple of days. Check out the radar right now. We've got some pretty heavy storms down there in South Georgia and in North Florida, but they're now south of our area. And an impressive line of storms from Chicago and Detroit all the way into New Mexico. That's where the next weather front is. But first things first. Overnight, our showers are out of here now. But late night travelers, watch out for foggy areas. I think it will be quite dense by daybreak in some spots. Temperatures, they're going to stay stuck in the 70s. Today's high, 88 degrees at the airport, 86 today at Jacksonville Beach. And believe it or not, temperatures today actually average 2 degrees cooler than normal. Well, right now outside we have some fog happening at the airport. 74 degrees, the humidity is high and the winds are quiet. In Tropics Watch, we've been talking about this area of showers and storms in the Western Caribbean now for the last couple of days. It is now moving into an area much more favorable for development, at least atmospherically speaking. It's also heading for the Yucatan, Belize, and Guatemala. Not good. Let's get this over land, and we'll be a whole lot happier. Here's tomorrow's forecast map. There's that pesky little shower maker. It's going to be around here for a while. Tomorrow about like today. Some morning sun, then afternoon, evening showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures tomorrow will peak only in the 80s. On the waters, a southeast sea breeze once again. The seas near 2 feet. Look for a light chop on the inland waters. Here's the 5-day deal. 87 is all for a high and a 60% likelihood of showers. Likewise on Friday, over the weekend, things begin to dry out ever so slowly. I know. I'm going to work on the weekend for you. Heading out tomorrow morning, lots of sunshine and 70s.
Ahead, the greatest golfer meets the greatest boxer. John has that union.
And with only one kicker in camp, the Jaguars are putting all its kicking eggs into Hollis's basket. Looks as though the Jaguars have picked up a cast-off from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All to help ease some unexpected changes. John.
Yeah, that's right. The injury to tight end and long snapper Rich Griffith has forced 2 more roster moves for the Jaguars. Number 65 there is the latest newcomer to training camp, 13-year NFL vet Ed Brady will be the team's long snapper. The 34-year-old linebacker, considered one of the best long snappers in the league. He was released by the Bucs prior to this year's camp. To make room for Brady, the Jaguars waived second-string place kicker Craig Fayak. That leaves last year's leading scorer Mike Hollis as the lone kicker in camp. But as Mike Lyons reports, Hollis knows nothing is guaranteed.
Mike Hollis kicked the game-winning field goal against Cleveland in the final regular season game. The kick to give the Jaguars their 4th win of the year, a highlight of Hollis's season. Last Friday, Mike missed 2 out of 3 field goal attempts against the Giants in a 24-17 loss. The honeymoon was over.
It was tough. This first preseason game came real quick, and I was a little surprised at how quick it came, and wasn't really prepared for the game.
Despite those 2 misses last Friday night, Hollis remains a Jaguars' only kicker after his competition in training camp was cut today.
We needed a roster spot, obviously, and I felt like Hollis was the kicker of record, and he's established that throughout, the preseason and in the spring work, and of course having kicked last year, so I didn't think that was something of concern at this point in time, and I wanted Mike to know that he's going to take all the kicks on Friday night, and we'll go from there.
While Mike Hollis is grateful for the apparent vote of confidence, he realizes it means very little at this point.
What's going through my mind is I may be the guy right now, but I still have to do my job, and anytime they can go out and get another kicker if I'm not satisfying them and if I'm not doing my job. And my main focus right now is just to do the best I can and keep my job.
With photographer Ken Thomas, Mike Lyons, Fox 30, First Coast Sports.
Thank you, Mike. Jaguars defensive lineman John Yurkovich is quoted in a new book out this week about the Packers' rebuilding process. It's called Return to Glory, and in it, Yurkovich admits that he supplied quarterback Brett Favre with about 50 pain pills during their 4 playing seasons together. Favre recently completed a 6-week stay in a rehab clinic for addiction to painkillers. We obtained this story after today's interview session, so Yurkovich wasn't available to comment for us. Well, the Cardinals have signed their 2nd-round draft pick Leland McElroy to a 3-year deal. The running back out of Texas A&M expected to be in camp tomorrow. The Cards still have 3 draft picks unsigned. Falcons now have their top QB in camp. Jeff George settling on a 1-year deal worth $3.64 million. George held out for 2.5 weeks looking for a long-term deal. And it's the first day in camp for Cowboys receiver Michael Irvin. Since pleading no contest to a drug possession charge, he can play in preseason games but is suspended the first 5 games of the regular season. On to baseball, Braves hosting the Phils. John Smoltz on the mound, showing no signs of his wrist injury. And Jaime Lopez hit a 2-run shot, his 18th. Braves led at that point 13-1. Smoltz looks like he's going to cruise. The update, it's a rain delay, bottom of the 8th, 13-1. Other early winners, Mets, Giants, Rockies, Royals, Red Sox, and Tigers. Well, the greatest golfer of all time met the greatest boxer of all time. Muhammad Ali and Jack Nicklaus met up today in Louisville, Kentucky, side of this weekend's PGA Championship. The Golden Bear put Ali's gold medal around Ali's neck. Nicklaus says he just wanted to meet him. The International Challenge Baseball Cup is over. USA beats Canada 18-1, and USA beats Team Jacksonville 9-4. Thanks for the calls. We're out of time.
You know, fashion goes right down to what you wear beneath your wear.
Ahead, underwear companies want a certain look to help them look good.
On the next Cops, a girl is brutally stabbed as she tries to break up a fight.
He trapped us in the bathroom, mister, and she come at us with a knife like this guy did in Psycho.
Now, police must find the missing pieces to a grisly puzzle.
She washed this knife off.
On Cops.
Tonight at 10:30 on Fox 30.
Ever wonder how they choose the men and the women who model underwear?
Constantly.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes it comes down to a matter of sheer luck.
Soon, very soon, one lucky young man will be chosen to model a certain type of underwear. Anita Padilla sorts it all out in Fox Style News.
They've seen London and they've seen France, but tonight everybody will see their underpants.
First time I did it, I was very nervous.
Structure is doing it for the second time, the annual underwear model search. These Jeeps will cruise the malls of America looking for a new boxer boy.
We're looking for the guy of today.
Backstage, nobody was looking at the guy of today. All eyes were on the 4 women about to doff their duds and slip into something more comfortable.
The underwear I'm wearing is boxer shorts.
On the catwalk, the tables were turned as hunks of raw meat were thrown to the lions. Ladies' night at Chippendales doesn't get much rowdier than this. It isn't every day models for Wonder Bra and Victoria's Secret take a back seat to a guy in underwear.
It's like a tennis match. You walk out, you come back.
Hey, the company won't be bad, will it?
We won't leave you without answering the big question of the night. In the privacy of your homes, guys, is it boxers or briefs?
Briefs, definitely briefs, because it keeps everything in place.
I'm Anita Padilla, Fox Style News.
I'm not even gonna ask.
Good.
Not going there tonight.
So, good night.
Good night.